It makes me happy to know that I made someone laugh. Now, I believe in humor because it's the surefire way to make someone forget about what they're going through, even if it's just for 10 seconds of laughter. And I like knowing I was responsible for those 10 seconds. Now, there are types of jokes for all types of people, and I know every single one of them. So, let's forget about the bad things for a couple of minutes, and let's start with the classic jokes, the simple punchline jokes. And by the way, I expect all of you to participate. And if you know the jokes, keep the answer to yourself. What do you call a deer with no eyes? That was pitiful. What do you call a deer with no eyes?
What?
No idea. What do you call a deer with no eyes and no legs?
What?
Still no idea. What do you call a midget psychic on the run from the police?
What?
Small, medium, at large. And what do you call an eco-friendly communist who's depressed?
What?
A green red with the blues. And now, one for all you Trekkies out there, what does toilet paper have in common with the Starship Enterprise?
What?
They both orbit Uranus searching for Klingons. Now, I'm no different than anyone else. I can let one bad instance in my life overwhelm me during a really good day, and then I obsess over that one bad thing that disgruntled me, and the next thing you know, I'm a big disgruntled monster. But I don't like to be angry, because usually it turns out in the end, it wasn't worth it, and I was just being a big idiot. So to get over it, I eat a lot of food, plop down in a chair, and lose myself in the dark corners of the internet. And no, it does not mean porn. But for those of you who had to wait at a stop sign for the old lady with the walker to cross the street, or for those of you who had to pee but you realized the second act was starting, I dedicate to you these senseless anti-jokes in hopes that you can realize how trivial our problems sometimes can be. And I still expect you to participate. Why did the chicken cross the road?
Why?
Because the farmer left the gate open. I warned you. And just so you know, they don't get any better. What's blue and smells like red paint?
What?
It's blue paint. Who said that? What did the farmer say when he lost his tractor?
What?
Where's my tractor? Why did Susie drop her ice cream?
Why?
She was hit by a bus. Knock, knock. Not Susie. And how do you sell a deaf man a chicken? Hey! You want to buy a chicken? Laughter makes life worth living. Now, jokes aren't always appropriate, and sometimes they're even offensive. But maybe we take it all too seriously. I mean, jokes take the things we know in life, sometimes stereotypes, and they make people learn to laugh at themselves. And I mean, really, where would we be in life if it weren't for mirth? We'd be a bunch of 9-to-5 zombies slaving away with no light at the end of the tunnel. But for me, jokes help make that life brighter. And really, when you think of it, life is just one big lesson in learning to laugh at yourself. And in the big picture, life is all that you own, and you aren't always going to have it. So why not use humor and make the most out of your life while you have it? Like the wasp. Okay, well, let me tell you the story of the wasp. So once upon a time, there was this jungle, and the wasp lived in the jungle, but he was a clever wasp, and he wanted to do something with his life. So he went to America, and he got into high school, and he graduated with a perfect GPA, and he got into Harvard. And once he was there, everybody loved him. I mean, he was friends with all the dudes, got all the chicks, and even his professors looked up to him. And so he graduated as valedictorian, and after that's over, he says, you know what? I'm going to run for mayor. And he wins, and after that's over, he says, I'm going to run for governor. And after that's over, he says, I'm going to run for president of the United States. And he wins by a landslide, and everybody loves him. Once he's president, he finds the cure for cancer and AIDS and the common cold. And after his 8-year term is over, because obviously he'd get reelected, He sits down and he thinks, wow, I've done all this stuff, but I haven't gone back to visit my family in the jungle. So he does that. And so he gets there and he's greeted by his family, and they say, oh, Wasp, where have you been? Tell us everything. And they say, oh, well, I went to America, and I got into Harvard, and I was mayor and governor and president. Oh, it was great. And he's tired from his travels, and he's relaxing, and he realizes he's thirsty. But then he remembers this watering hole. He always used to love to get some water at when he lived in the jungle. So he goes there, but he's greeted by a really long line. But it's really good water, and it's worth it, so he waits. And he waits for a couple of hours, but then he realizes it'll be days before he can get any water. But then he remembers there's some cider right over there, so he goes there, but there's an equally long line for the cider. But then he remembers there's some punch right over there, and he's hoping no one is there, and he goes to the punch, and lo and behold, there's no punch line.